Alabama Auburn show. It's smack talk time. It's time. What are you doing, man?
I'm trying to come up with some good, fully loaded smack talk because Auburn did what they did. Have mercy.
How do you think this works out?
This
week. I mean, Auburn's got Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Are they playing host or are they going to?
No. They're on the plains.
So they're down on the plains.
Yeah.
Bro, how does this work out?
For whom?
I mean, both equally have made some terrible decisions this year.
Oklahoma's just 3-1. Oklahoma's 3-1.
Yeah, but
right, and they played a very good Tennessee team that everyone else but us was kind of overlooking. Right, we said Tennessee is. Hey, that third Saturday in October, Bama better be ready, right? Yeah. Because that's a really good team, really good quarterback doing the right way, doing the right things. Hey, what's up, East family watching?
That's some good people.
Man, hey, still one of my favorite calls from last year when Joseph East scored that long touchdown. When Joseph scored, I said East bound and down. That was good. I brag myself. It was good. That was good. It was good. Wasn't rehearsed. It was good.
Wasn't rehearsed.
Now seeing Joseph play defensive line.
I'll tell you what was pretty cool, man. Now, I don't know Mr. East very well. I've met him a couple times. But to come in and see him at the pancake breakfast.
Yeah.
Just hanging out with the boys for a little bit, getting to be a fella for a minute. You know, he's a dad, he's a business owner, he's a husband. But just seeing him smile and listening to him talk to the boys, man, that was pretty good.
Well, my only thing I felt bad for him that is he was with Jack and Mark.
Oh, I didn't say men.
I said
boys.
But they're with them two, and
he was a man among boys.
He was in charge, right? There's no question. He was in charge. So this is the Alabama Auburn show, Jeff. Everyone's waiting for 2 weeks to talk about Alabama, Georgia.
It's and I'm a little worried and hesitant to talk about it because I've been telling my boys, my kids, that this is the biggest game of the year. It is, right? Arguably the biggest game of the year for Alabama, really for anybody in the country right now. As far as implications of what people think is supposed to be the college football playoff, who's supposed to win.
Two best teams in college football.
Right.
I think, my opinion.
Yeah, and so that's the thing. But here's what happens. This early, this is the fourth, fifth game of the season, which way you look at it, from different colleges. This, if you're an Alabama fan or a Georgia fan, you lose, in your mind, we're done. Right? Even though we know that's not the truth.
Last year it would have been, not now.
Yeah, but we understand. But in our minds it is. Why? Because it's Alabama, Georgia. It is, for the last decade, it seemingly has been the game, with the exception for LSU 8-9 years ago, the game that just who's going to win the national championship, man. And it's just, I don't like my Georgia fans right now. My friends that are Georgia people, they're mean.
Who do you know?
I know several, and I know one that goes to this church. She's pretty nice though.
She really though.
She's nice about it.
She's an Auburn fan.
Her husband's she's a closet Auburn fan.
So they're going to the race. She's out the closet, just like Blake is. She's out the closet, and they're going to the race instead of watching college football.
So that's why he's selling his Auburn tickets.
He ain't got Auburn tickets for that game.
He said he's got Auburn tickets for this weekend.
He's a liar and a cheat. He don't.
He was trying to sell them last night.
I think it's his dad's tickets. I think his dad decided not to go. Now, Talladega.
Talladega's this week?
Mm-hmm. Is it Diga or Dega? I say Talladega. I don't know.
Is it this week, though?
Yeah.
Do they have a Saturday race?
It's Sunday.
You ain't missing Sunday.
Well, it's a Saturday. He always misses Sunday.
You better not miss Sunday.
Watch
what I'm saying.
And there's more than him that miss church to go to NASCAR. I know Clint misses to go to a IndyCar stuff.
Oh, he goes to the
Barbers.
Barber Motors.
Yeah, he loves it. He's sick with it.
You know, dude, I just looked at myself on this monitor when I was looking at Blake about missing Sunday. My bad. I didn't mean to get that aggressive.
You were strong with it.
My eyes got a little mean.
You got the Alabama helmet over your left shoulder. Shouldn't that be on the table?
This Sardis.
It looks like Ultimate Alabama. Identical.
Maybe that was intentional. Maybe it was not. I don't really know. But going back to the Alabama game, I mean, this is a big deal, right?
Sure.
Alabama's both of them have explosive offenses, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you got two of the best quarterbacks in the country playing each other.
I think one's a fraud,
You
personally.
think one's fraud, and who would that be? Would that be the one under Mike Bobo or?
Yeah, I think that I'm not impressed with Carson Beck.
Oh,
I'm not impressed with Beck. I think
why?
what has he done to get you that accolades this year? What's he done? I'm not impressed with that. Really, with that offense, I'm not impressed with that team.
Dang. Well, we talk about space.
I think they get exposed.
So you think Alabama's strong enough to expose the weakness of Georgia?
I do.
You think Alabama's defense exposes
two of the best defenses in the country is Georgia and Alabama. Right, they're two of the best teams in the country, no question about it. I think in a game like this where you run the ball an awful lot, Bama's linebackers are better than Georgia's linebackers.
Okay.
I think the secondary on the back end, I like Bama's secondary. I like Malachi Moore is incredible. Up front, I think so. Up front, I think I would give the edge to Georgia's defensive line slightly. Probably give the advantage to Georgia's offensive line slightly. Alabama's still having a little bit of trouble up front. But wide receivers, I would give the advantage Georgia based on depth, but not necessarily explosive quality. I still like. It's tough for me to put an advantage on Alabama's wide receivers when your best wide receiver is a 17-year-old kid, right? So I'll probably give Georgia a slight edge there. Running backs, I give it to Alabama. Quarterbacks, I give it to Alabama.
What do you say if you're the Georgia guys and gals that are screaming right now and saying, hey, in his career he's 2,800 yards, 15 touchdowns, four interceptions. Carson Beck, I mean, 72% of his passes, he's the real deal. I mean, what do you say?
Who do they play?
I understand that.
It matters. Competition matters.
Right. Milroe, 2,000 yards, 15 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. He's completing 65% of his passes. So if you're looking, without looking at competition, you're looking at stats for stats. They're saying
I don't do that.
Carson Beck is better.
I look at stats. I look at stats with competition.
Right.
Who would you put the stats up against? Right. In my mind,
against ranked on opponents, he's 1,500 yards, 11 touchdowns, 1 interception. That's Carson Beck.
In my mind, the best, it comes down to explosive plays, right? Alabama averages 11 explosive plays a ball game. Okay, and when I say explosive plays, that's a run over 10 yards and a pass play over 20 yards.
Right.
In my mind, those are explosive plays. And I think Alabama is superior in that regard. I think Carson Beck's not throwing a lot of deep balls. I think Milroe is one of the best deep ball throwers in the country. I don't think Alabama's opened up the offense yet because they hadn't had to. You didn't have to do it against Wisconsin. You look at Coach Kalen DeBoer, the entirety of his career,
right.
He wins.
That's true.
Right, he wins. Yep. Yes, did he lose the national championship game against Michigan? Yes. The Washington roster, nowhere near as good as the Michigan roster. Case in point, look at the draft. How many people from Washington got drafted? How many people from Michigan got drafted? He was able to beat Oregon twice. Who had a better roster? Look at who all got drafted by Oregon. Look at who got drafted by Washington. Right? He did not have the best roster. He has one of the best rosters in the country now.
And what can you do with that?
Man, you can win big games. And yes, Alabama does not tend to lose games at home against SEC teams. But I know the Auburn people are going to be out here screaming, yeah, hey, but Texas went in there and beat you last year. Texas wasn't the SEC last year. Okay, to be fair, right. Was it a big game they lost? They did. Let's look at Kirby Smart. Look, is Kirby Smart 1-5 against the University of Alabama, or is he 1-5 against Nick Saban?
Yeah.
So
people look at it that way.
So which one is it really? We're going to find out.
Find out.
I happen to.
Or Saturday.
I happen to think that DeBoer, Kirby Smart's the best coach in college football.
Okay.
My opinion, the best coach in college football right now, post Saban. I think it's Kirby Smart. I know some people are going to be screaming at me. I think it's Kirby. But I think DeBoer is on the track of being a top tier coach. I think he already is a top tier coach. Is the best in college football. That's yet to be determined. What he's done with lesser talent, even when he played small ball, when he was coach of small ball, and won championships. The way he won at Fresno State, people forget he coached at Fresno State for 2 years. Very, very productive at Fresno State, and what he's done at Washington, I think, is next level. Yes, he had Michael Penix Jr. Right. But Michael Penix Jr. was at Indiana. How did Indiana do? A lot of it's coaching, a lot of it's scheme, a lot of it is putting your players in position to do well, and your offense based on what you do well. Not, hey, here's my system, you're going to fit my system.
Right.
He has, hey, here's what I like to do, but with your skill set, we're going to do this. And I just happen to think, I know we're not at prediction time yet, but I see Alabama winning this football game.
If you're Georgia people, you're looking at Georgia and saying, okay, last year Georgia averaged 35 points a game as they're on the road.
Okay.
Right? They gave up 18 points a game when they're on the road. At home, 42 points a game they put up. They allowed 14 or 13 and a half, or whatever it is on the road. So how does that match up against Alabama this year? I mean, I know we're kind of tit for tat, right? I mean,
I'm an apple for apple guy.
Yeah.
So I want to know the stats versus a top tier team. I don't care what your stat was against Kent State.
Right.
Give me information based on
Georgia Tech.
No. Yeah. I think Georgia Tech's an up and coming team.
Not last year before, as far as
I think this year. But so what is Georgia? And you got guys on last year's team that's not here. So I think last year's numbers are irrelevant, right?
And for both teams.
Absolutely, 100%. Yeah. So what's Georgia's best win this year? What's Bama's best win?
Exactly. Well, with Wisconsin.
I would say that's their best win is sure. Wisconsin. I actually think their best win was South Florida, personally, because a lot of times you find out when you don't have your A game, right? You were a pitcher, man. You pitched a lot of games where you didn't have your stuff, right? You had to get creative. You had to think more, find a way to do it. And I think Bama had 4 turnovers in that ball game, and they still found a way to win. So to me, that's a much more impressive win than Wisconsin. Although I think Wisconsin is going to be a really good team in the next 2-3 years. They're building it back, and I think he's going to do well. I think coming back the way they played in that game was very impressive to me. What is Georgia? I mean, you look at Georgia, Kentucky. Kentucky's probably their best win to me because Kentucky is one of those teams that always play Georgia tight, man. They always do. They find a way.
It's like Alabama when they play Ole Miss or Southern, even Southern Miss. I mean, for whatever reason.
Man, JSU teabagged.
Right, but there's over the years
just top of mind
where we
absolutely
where we struggle against Southern Miss maybe until late in the game or something like that. Kentucky, Georgia fans are screaming right now, we're terrible. You know, if we can't beat Kentucky handily, that's the way they feel. That's the way they feel.
Georgia people know every year that game's like that.
But that's the way they feel, right? I mean,
I ain't mad at them.
And you look at the nation or look at the rankings and all those types of things. Apparently, everybody else is feeling that same way. Well, except we got a Texas team who's actually showing out a little bit.
Georgia, Clemson.
Yeah. Clemson's
proven they are who we thought they were.
Yeah.
I mean, we all picked Georgia to win pretty handily, I think, against them. They did 34-3, 34-7, something like that. I can't remember. Something like that. I mean, Georgia put it on them late August. And, Carson Beck did what he should do. Right, had a good running game established. He didn't throw for 300 yards. He did throw for a couple touchdowns, I believe. But he wasn't like a Heisman front runner, although he's been a Heisman front runner in the conversation. I think again, man, this is your part of the show. This is Alabama, and this is you.
That's why I like talking about
I think that I don't think Georgia gets it done. I think Kirby is putting so much pressure on himself because now Nick's gone. You couldn't be. It was never. You couldn't beat Alabama. Hey, you couldn't beat Nick Saban. The Nick Saban coaches tree. You only beat him once. Truth of the matter is, you're 1-5 against Alabama, and some of those teams, Bama was not as talented as Georgia,
Right.
and Bama still found a way to win.
So one of the things you got to do if you're Alabama, and you talk about this because you're a defense guy too, but you play fullback as well. But you love offense. I mean, we know that. I mean, that's something you love. One of the things Alabama's got to do, and Alabama has been the first couple of games of the season, they've worked that out the last couple of games, is protecting Jalen Milroe. You've got to find a way to make sure you're freeing your superstar up to make the plays, give him the time to read the defense, to make the checks, to do what he's got to do to you've got to win and lose with the ball in his hands, right? And so you got to give him time to make the plays. Milroe's got to figure out a way. Yes, usually he loves. What does he love to do? I'm looking at Tua over your shoulder, right? He loves to Milroe loves to run the ball. He gets a little happy feeted. He likes to. I think maybe you think that's twofold. One, he's happy feeted. One, he's trying to exploit some of the weaknesses.
He doesn't run nowhere near as much as he used to. I actually like him when he is running, right? He runs and scrambles to throw the football. That's what he's been taught.
He's looking
correct. Man, when he's running, when it's a true RPO, and you had Michael Penix Jr. the same way. Michael Penix ran to throw the ball. He didn't really run. He ran to extend plays to throw the ball downfield. Okay. Same thing. They're trying to turn. He's never going to be Michael Penix, right? You're never going to be that accurate. Michael Penix is just next level when it comes to that. But Milroe is developing. I think Milroe is going to be in New York come Heisman finals.
So if you're Alabama, we're spending a lot of time on Alabama, but I mean,
good because I ain't got much to talk about.
But do you take a lot of shots over Georgia's head? Do you take a lot of shots down the field?
They do that anyway.
Stingy.
They average 11 down the field a game.
Okay.
They average that, so they're going to go. A quarter of their plays are going to go. We're going for it.
Does that help Alabama Georgia knowing that they go over their heads a lot?
Well, what that does is loosen up the running game
because
the linebackers, safety has to take a peek. You have to take a peek. Then if you're taking a peek and you get out of position for Ryan Williams,
go
over. Again, how it upsets me to pick Alabama in this game.
I know.
I ain't happy about it. I'm not happy about it at all.
Well, I don't have your picks for the week, so I'm not certain that you really are at this point. I mean, I know you're saying it on the show, but what really matters is that board that we're on.
It's coming. It's coming. Yeah, I'll give you an advance.
That's really what's important. So, man, I hope so. We look for Alabama, I believe, to take some early shots downfield.
I agree.
To get over their head because Georgia is stingy underneath. But if what you're saying is true, Georgia's looking for them to do that. I mean, it's an analytical nightmare if you're somebody like me that doesn't look at those types of things. It's an analytical person's dream to go, oh, this is where I live because this is what Georgia really does underneath. This is what Alabama does over the top. Who's gonna outcoach? Who's gonna outmaneuver who? It's like that old game that we used to play when we were kids, Battleship.
Oh yeah,
that's kind of what Alabama and Auburn or Alabama and Georgia are every year, but especially this year. Who's going to outcoach and out-strategize who? Because
make no mistake, this is the game of the year to this point, without question. You don't normally get this kind of caliber game unless it's a playoff or a national championship.
Yeah.
This is, I think, two of the top 4 teams in college football. Both these teams, I think, are going to be in the playoffs. But the schedule's brutal. So Georgia, yes, Alabama this week. Next week, Georgia and Auburn. So they're not overlooking Alabama for Auburn. Trust me about that. Then they got Mississippi State. They're not scared.
Yeah.
Then they got Texas.
That's your problem.
Good news. After that, they got Florida, Ole Miss, Tennessee.
You used to not say the good news I had Florida.
Now it's good news they got Florida.
Yeah,
so.
Good news they got Florida.
Yeah.
Roger, your boy Champions, he says, what do you think? And maybe this would be a good segue to just kind of buffer a little bit before we get to Auburn. What do you think?
You didn't give your prediction.
Alabama's going to win. It's going to be 31-24, somewhere around in there. In my prediction, that's what I want. But I also think, looking at and listening to you and some of the great minds of football, I think that's where we live. I would love for it to be a little bit more, but I think it's 31-24.
Okay.
Yep.
So,
Robert, what do you think?
I'm going to go Alabama 41-31. 41-31.
Same type of distance, but just a little more score.
Yeah, 41-31. So it'll probably be 3-0.
You think 7-3? It's going to be the Yankees score with Baltimore. But sorry about that.
We scored more than 3. By the way.
Oh yeah, you got the Palmer.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Was it 9-5?
9-7.
Oh, no,
Tell us hit that 3-run.
Roger says, do you believe Kirby thinks about his one win was beating Saban when Bama was down their two top receivers?
I don't think he puts that much into it, Raj. I think that it's all big picture because you don't, when you look about your records, you don't say, hey, I was this and this against them, but they were down that year. I think Bama has owned Georgia in the series, and I think Bama is going to continue to own Georgia in the series because I think DeBoer is that good a coach. Again, I still think Kirby's the best, but when I look at talent, I look at it. It's in Tuscaloosa, and other than that Tennessee game, and Bama played horrible. But if you look who all got drafted from that Tennessee squad, you had two of the fastest wide receivers in the country, and you had a quarterback that Ewers is unreal, and they had 3 kids drafted off that defensive front. They also had their running back drafted into the 3rd round. It was a very talented team, man.
He also, and I got a question ahead, but he also asked Roger Jeff, what do you think about the Urban Meyer rumors to Irish? Seems a little early for me.
No.
He also says you're looking healthy, my friend.
Yeah, I appreciate that, Raj. I hope you are too. He's preaching again.
Good,
I think Roger's preaching again, man. Heck yeah, glad to see that. I think Marcus Freeman will be fine. Again, this is 3rd year as a head coach ever, not just at Notre Dame. He does a really good job of getting us up for big games. At Texas A&M, a big game. When Ohio State came to town last year, big game, and we were ready for that game. I think this week in Louisville is a big game. It's going to be a green out for Notre Dame. I think Marcus Freeman is the right guy and the culture. I don't think Urban Myers can recruit the way that Marcus Freeman is recruiting. I think the way things have changed with NIL, I don't think Urban is he's in the TV booth where he should be.
He's pretty good there.
Yeah, no, he does a good job.
He actually is.
Yeah, he does a good job.
I enjoy him as an
Is he a fantastic? Is he a fantastic football coach? Absolutely. Really.
Ruthless.
Yeah, no question. Yeah. Look at all the. Never mind.
Easy.
About went to yes.
About
went there. The dogs will be returned to the pound. Samuel Ray says.
He's at 38-20. Seems like I was kind of living in that 7 to 10 point.
So,
right there.
And here's why I picked the score that I did, is I don't think the rain is going to impact that game as much as everyone thinks it is. I think they're going to be pretty much in the clear, and that field will drop and be fantastic. Yeah. So, good man. Thanks for watching, Raj. Samuel Ray, you're dead to me, Tuskegee.
Dead to me. Let's be fair though, Samuel Ray. He did pick Road Tide.
I did. But here's a stat for you. All you hear is blitz, Bama blitz.
Yeah.
I don't give a piss about nothing but the Tide. They don't blitz.
No.
They don't blitz.
They don't.
3.2% of the time. That's scary.
Not this year.
That's scary because they're still getting good pressure. What do you think is going to happen this week against Georgia? They're going to blitz.
Why do you think that is?
You don't have to.
You just
with those front four.
You're looking to contain, and
they're still putting pressure on the quarterback. Yeah. Georgia has played a tougher schedule.
Yeah.
They have.
Sure, they have.
You got Clemson, you got Kentucky. But I think in South Florida, South Florida can play with Kentucky.
I get it.
Yeah.
And there are several teams in the SEC that you put South Florida against. They can beat.
You keep Vanderbilt out of this.
Son of a bitch. I don't even know. Anyway, go ahead.
Um, I think you're going to see a lot of blitzes. I think they're going to put some pressure on Beck. They're going to make him make decisions. They're going to make him make quick decisions.
So
make him uncomfortable. If they do that, again, I think Bama wins this going away.
You think it's a bigger margin if Alabama can do exactly what you said, keep
They
containing
do.
him and put the pressure on him?
Correct. They do. Make him feel uncomfortable.
You think he implodes?
I don't think he's a Heisman quarterback. I'm against the grain. Most people do.
What is
he's the front runner.
But what is the reason?
Because when he gets I think he's a good quarterback. But the talent he has around him, and what every good quarterback should do is get the ball to the talent, right?
Okay.
But I think when you put pressure on him and you take certain things away, if you know he loves throwing if he loves with the quick game, he falls in love with the quick game, take that away. Make him do what he doesn't do best. Make something else beat you, right? Make something else beat you. Just my opinion.
Number 21, Oklahoma rolls into Auburn this weekend.
Yeah.
Tough game. Major Edmonds is already claiming the loss.
No, he shouldn't be.
What do you think happens now under the new quarterback after?
Who's the quarterback? Who started?
Was it Hawkins that was named the starter after Arnold struggled last week? And I think Arnold's the starter.
Arnold should be the starter, I think.
Right.
What do I know?
Well, you're all about controversies when it comes to quarterbacks the last few weeks.
Well, I'm just. Who's going to start quarterback for Auburn? Is it going to be Hank? Is it going to be Thorne?
They took Thorne, finished the game out.
He did. Here's the situation with me. I think Oklahoma comes in 3-1. I don't know what the line is of the game, but Oklahoma has to be favored, in my opinion. It's a 2:30 game, so I will not be watching it. Same time as Notre Dame, so sorry about that. But yeah, during the commercial, I'll flip over so it's there. This is the most important game in Hugh Freeze's career, in my opinion. I think this is it. I think they could drive this right off in the ditch, right? I think that's where we're headed.
People are calling for his head anyway.
I think, is he talented? He does have a talented team, but he's still lacking at quarterback. Well, he's supposed to be the quarterback whisperer, right? Well, you need to speak louder because they are not listening. It's let me get on this coffee. Yeah. Oh, that was good. They have talent. I think they need to get back to running the football. I think your running back, Hunter, needs to touch the ball 25 times. Get who you are. Do you have talented receivers? Yeah, but they're freshmen.
Right.
Or they're young. Cam Coleman has dropped pass after pass. He's the next. Give him the Heisman trophies. Cam Coleman, he's the best thing going. He's not doing it, right? He's been banged up, but a couple of those interceptions that quarterbacks have because he dropped the ball.
Right.
But he's a freshman playing in big games. Jordan-Hare Stadium. It's a lot of pressure. It's a lot of hype. It's like when you were preaching at the Southern Baptist Convention back in the day, right? It's a lot of pressure. It was a lot of pressure, right? Sure, it would be for you. Same thing with these freshmen coming in who's never done it before. The last time you did it, you didn't get pissed. You don't care about these people. First time, he's so-and-so here, so-and-so here. Yeah. Same thing, man. It's a high-pressure situation, and you get back to running the football. You do work running the football. You get your tight end involved. Fairweather is as good as tight end there is in the country, man. Utilize him. Big, great hands. Utilize him. Biggest game in Hugh Freeze's, in my opinion, this is the biggest game in the history of Hugh Freeze.
Well, you got Oklahoma's not looking real well offensively, right? 111th in throwing in the nation, 101st in rushing. You got Auburn. Auburn's got. If Auburn loses, let's just stop hypothetically because
if or when.
Well, they're going to lose. I don't know about this game, but
this one we're talking about.
Right, if they lose this game, because we're around a lot of Auburn people all the time.
Yeah.
And right now we got some that are warding off. I'm not watching the game. I'm not going to any more games.
That's not fans, and they'll still watch.
Yeah.
They're talking.
They just won't let us know that they're watching. But What do you think happens with that culture? Because it happened with Alabama years ago when we had the Shula years. We called it the dark years or the DeVoe years.
Freeze is a better coach
or
than
DeVoe's week, whatever you want to call it.
any of those guys.
Yeah.
Freeze is better.
Sure he is. But you also have the guys right now nationally. We're watching some of these YouTube shows and some of these other pundits and things like that. They're calling for Freeze's head. I mean, there's several that I've watched. One in particular, and I won't call his name.
I will.
I will. I should have mentioned it to you before the show. But he is, I mean, just saying some awful things about Hugh Freeze. That he's a horrible coach. That he's a horrible recruiter. He's a horrible encourager. And I don't think any of those things are true. And this guy has a platform that's 5 times as large as mine is.
Yeah, I've heard none of those things from Auburn people, and I'm still
not from Auburn people.
No, I mean from Auburn people, I'm hearing. Roger said Oklahoma 4, Auburn 3. Jason Cole, what's your predictions
Roger,
here, bud?
How many interceptions on both sides of the ball?
What's your score prediction, Jason Cole? Who are you picking in these 2 games? Oklahoma, very upset, right? They lost. I think most everybody in our group picked. I think we all picked Tennessee to win that game. Actually, in our group, made us look smart.
Yeah.
I don't think Oklahoma. I said at the beginning of the season when I had them ranked, I got grief from some of y'all when we did our show because I didn't have Oklahoma in the top 25. Yeah. I still think Oklahoma's beatable. I do. Oklahoma's now going on the road, SEC, into a very, very tough place to play. I don't know what the line is on the game. I would assume Oklahoma's favored by a touchdown.
57% of the computer models say that Oklahoma's a victory.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know, but I'm guessing Auburn's going to make Freeze relapse. You talking drugs or women? What are you talking about? Is he on a motorcycle again?
Easy, man. Gosh.
Well, that's coming from judgmental Jason.
Jason,
right?
Jason, you can't do that.
He ain't about forgiveness.
You're a grace guy now.
No, he's not.
You can't say that.
Only way he's a grace guy if the lady where he gets his coffee is named Grace. That's how Jason Cole's a grace guy.
Or a sub sandwich, whichever. Oklahoma's a 2.7 point favorite.
Really?
Well, yeah.
Women, he
said. That's CFB HQ. I don't know. That's which is SI Sports Illustrated. So I don't know.
Okay.
Probably not right. Yeah, you're right. 2.5 points overall. Yep.
Well, I'm going to type.
You're a FanDuel guy, right?
Yeah, I like
Yeah.
I'm going to type in the comments here my predictions on both these games right now as you talk.
Okay. I'm not talking, but
you are.
I will keep on. What it says, FanDuel says Oklahoma is a 2.5 point favorite against Auburn, according to their sportsbook line. The book listed total at 45.5.
45
you think that's pretty good?
Probably.
45.5?
Yeah. Because Auburn hasn't proven they can score at all.
So the money line for the odds for Oklahoma is at -125. For Auburn is at +105. So
I think the experts are thinking it's going to be a pretty close game.
So you think that's right? So almost 8 out of 10 bettors, 79% expect Oklahoma to win this game, and they're going to cover the spreads. What they're saying. That is almost 80% of the people that are betting say that Oklahoma's going to win.
Yeah.
Do you think that holds true? I mean, you're the Auburn guy, right?
I'm an Auburn guy as far as this show goes, as I'm wearing a Notre Dame hat.
Well, that helps you. Well, that helps if you're a bettor, not that we are, but if you're a bettor, and you pick Auburn and they win and they cover, or they blow that out of the water. What do you think? That's some good money right there, isn't it?
It is.
The model projects that the Sooners will win 6.5 games this year, and they got.
Man, both mine are in.
They got a shot to go to the playoffs.
All right, my predictions are in.
Let's see. Alabama 41, Georgia 35 is what Jerry says, and then Auburn 31, Oklahoma 20.
I'm going with the upset. I think that sometimes they'll phrase no one circles the wagons like the Buffalo Bills. Well, in this instance, Oklahoma has wagons, so maybe I looked at it bad. Maybe I picked a bad analogy. I think this game is far more important to Auburn than it is Oklahoma. I think the expectations for Auburn were much higher this year than Oklahoma. They have the talent. I think Oklahoma is unbelievably banged up from a very physical Tennessee team. Um, and maybe I'm drinking my own Kool-Aid. I'm listening to Zach Blackerby, Daniel Dappridge, um, Charlie Five. No, maybe I just watch them all the time. Oh. I listen to them, and I think most of those people are thinking that Auburn's going to lose. But I think maybe my upset of the year early.
Jason says Auburn beats himself more.
That's been the
beats them.
That's been the trend.
But a lot of people will say that the domestic violence in Oklahoma is a lot higher.
Could be. Could be. I wouldn't say that.
But anyway,
speaking of judgmental people, Daniel Harper's on. Congratulations to our team of the week, Etowah Blue Devils.
Wow. Yeah, they were.
Heck yeah, he loves them Devils.
He didn't say anything about that during the show last week.
I didn't.
This week.
I think he skipped the show. I don't think he watched it. I didn't see him. Go watch it, Dan. I expect some comments from you, dog. Now, what's Etowah going to do this week on the Battle of Highway 77? That's the game we should be talking about.
Yeah. Let's just. I'm not talking about it because we can.
And we got Fife Coosedom tomorrow night. Game got moved.
I was going to talk about both. I had people last night.
I can't pick the Coosa game.
I had people last night who we had just hundreds of crap and great things, but people around here and people were asking. I had got to stop 3 times and said, "Hey, did they move the Coosa game?" And I'm like, "Yes, they moved the Coosa game."
Yeah.
So I mean, a couple of them were Etowah people.
Sure.
Hey, we were on that game, and let's go on anyway. But they got a big game themselves.
Yeah, but Etowah, Southside. It's a battle, man. The Battle Highway 77. Daniel says Bama 24-21 over the Dogs and Oklahoma 34-21 over Auburn.
Ooh, so he just kind of flip-flopped that on you a little bit.
Okay, let it. What do you think about the Etowah Southside game then?
Okay, while you're texting, Daniel, or you're typing that in, I want to tell you what I'm going to let Jerry tell you what he told me off camera. Tell me what the score is to Etowah Southside. Oh.
I never picked the score.
You didn't say the score, but you said there was a phrase that you used.
I can't say that on air.
You can cuss.
Oh, I don't remember what it was.
Hey, that's amazing. No. Just kind of talk that out real quick.
Well, here's what I'm saying. I'm going to.
Southside wins by 14.
I'm saying just the opposite. I think Etowah wins by 17. I think Etowah goes up there.
That's not what he said.
I think Etowah goes up there.
Not even close. Daniel, that is not even close. Matter of fact, I think you used the word something with brewing tea. I don't even know. That's what he said about Southside over Etowah.
I didn't say that.
You did.
It's on camera. What did I just say?
Wait, there's no camera in the kitchen. Dang it.
If you ain't got video, it didn't count.
It didn't happen.
Etowah by 17 points over Southside.
That's what your heart said.
17.
What your heart said. I hope it happens.
Do you?
I do.
Why?
I never.
Sure you do. You do.
Never want
Pastor
to win.
Oh, that's fair. That's fair. You believe that?
I love the Southside kids. It's just your mom and dad and them and grandmas.
Cole's picking Southside 35-14. All right, Jason, tell me.
That's about what Jerry was talking about. Oh, you got to figure that out. Sorry for all the noise.
Sorry, but it happens.
Oh, take that crap.
Bob Does Sports here. So FanDuel, get 25% off your first wager when you type in Jeff Does Sports.
I'll be doing sports. Jerry, put the pipe down, bro. That's what they're saying to you right now. Put the pipe down, Jerry.
Yeah, that's coming from somebody that don't go to church.
You know every time I'm saying this.
Sorry, man. Yes, I see your butt back on the pew, man. I got to give you heck.
Jerry's on some bull jump today, Jason Cole says.
I'm saying, Jason Cole, tell me why. Don't give me an arbitrary number. Tell me why. I'll wait.
I'm looking at the comment. I'm waiting.
I just want to know why he said that.
I don't know, Sean. So, Coosa, you can't pick the game, but let's talk about that real quick.
Swain Marsh just text. Y'all playing Friday? Even he cares about the Fight Coosa game. Way down to Pierce County.
Swain is watching right now. That's what he's doing. Y'all playing Friday? Oh my gosh, that's awesome. Jerry's drinking the Kool-Aid after that 48-6 beatdown of Kevin's Bulldogs.
What?
You're talking about the Asheville Bulldogs. What was the score of that game?
48-6.
Was that the score?
Yeah. No, hey Daniel, I don't trust me. If there's I ain't drinking nothing Kool-Aid coming out of a towel. That's more like Thunderbird.
What's the word?
Thunderbird.
What's that price?
$5 twice.
Come on, son. The only time I seen Jerry drinking Kool-Aid is when that brother went on that Sports Illustrated swimsuit issue sitting out by the mailbox.
That was 1987.
Jason says because penalties in Etowah isn't near as talented as Pastor. That's true. They're small and not physical.
So I'm hearing the South Side is big and not physical. That's what everyone said.
Really? Like kind of what Coach Smith said today. I'd rather have somebody that's big and not nice.
If you're just looking at the teams, how is Southside, man, should not have lost a game this year? They are talented, man. They got some big kids. They're talented. But from what I'm hearing, again, I haven't watched it, Jason, and you're right. How many personal foul penalties was in that last game you said? Like a stupid number.
It was a bunch on both.
Yeah, ridiculous penalties and no discipline.
I mean, 13 to 14 on one side of the ball.
And Jason knows, man, undisciplined football teams don't generally win. So you're probably right. And you know I'm here causing trouble. That's what I do. I'm here for the ratings.
Oh, if he sees your name up there,
I'm going to give you crap. Absolutely right.
He is a bust. He didn't make no difference.
Daniel, you going to the game?
9 for sure. He said 9. So you were there for 9 of those years.
Yeah.
Right? So it's got to be
wow. That's embarrassing, Jason Cole. That's embarrassing.
All right, guys. We cannot wait to hear what you guys got to say next week on this Alabama Auburn show. Smack talking like a mug, and share, please, and do me a favor. If you haven't subscribed on YouTube, click over there. If you're not on YouTube right now, click over there, subscribe to our Kapow show, please, and like it, and maybe share it for us. Maybe even hit that alert button. That helps us a little bit. Gets Jerry some more money.
I get money?
Wait a minute.
When that happened?
I should have said this. I should have said it. All right, man. All right, so Saturday, Alabama is the primetime game.
6:30.
6:30.
Game day?
Game day. Auburn kicks off
2:30.
at 2:30. Mm-hmm. They're the Fox game.
I have no idea.
I think they are.
Notre Dame game's on Peacock only.
Yeah, it is. But, I mean, everybody's got that now.
I have it. Asheville wouldn't shake hands.
Yeah, they all cut out. Cut out.
Yeah.
Was hoping the weather was going to be a hold up for y'all's game.
Yeah. Yeah, me too, bro. Yeah. Hey, but you can always tune me in. You can go to one game and just have me listen to
now, Daniel's a Southside guy?
He's Etowah.
Etowah.
Yeah.
Who's the other guy? There's another guy, Southside, that's always.
Several. There's a ton of them.
Well, I
Daniel.
Really hope Daniel.
He didn't mean to disrespect you like that, Daniel.
Well, I'm an Etowah guy. I'm all about Etowah.
It did. Yeah, it got moved. It'll be Friday night, Jason. Thanks for following.